Good morning, everyone. So the last video was a lot in a video. So what I'm going to do now is start sharing where I am and take pieces and parts of these videos and make several more based on the information in the last one. I started physical therapy yesterday morning. The last week or so, when I wake up, it is all I can do to get out of bed. And then when I get out of bed, I hurt so bad, makes me want to go back into bed. But I'm not. I got up. I did my hair. I put makeup on for you guys because nobody sees me at work. But let's talk about what it feels like to have everything go wrong. In 2020, there's a lot of people who aren't used to this feeling, having this feeling. So I think this is very relevant for today. The scripture is Job chapter 2, or Job chapter 38. Those of you who don't know the story of Job, it starts out with Satan telling God, oh, well, if you wouldn't have blessed him so much, he wouldn't have been faithful to you, blah, 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 blah. Then Job loses everything. One thing after another, after another, after another, to the point that he is sitting in a heap with welts all over his body. And his friends come up, God love those Christian brothers and sisters, and say, well, you have some sin. Figure out what sin you have in your life. And several other things. And then Job goes into a grand monologue about testing God. God, I didn't do it. If I did it, tell me what I did. He literally talks about taking God to court. And that's 37 chapters. And it's worth the read because in 2020, and hopefully there'll be a miracle on January 1st, but I'm not counting on it. So let's start in chapter 38 when God said, what do y'all think you're talking about? So chapter 38 starts with, there's a subtitle above it that says, God speaks now to Job. Then the Lord answered Job out of a whirlwind and said, who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Those are the Christian brothers and sisters that were so helpful. Now gird up your loins like a man or woman, and I will ask you, and you instruct me. I will ask you, and you instruct me. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me. If you have understanding, who set its measurement? Since you know, or who stretched the line on it? So we go into a grand monologue about from God, from the storm, and in several versions, like the Message version, it said, why do you confuse the issue? Why do you talk without knowing what you're talking about? Pull yourself together, Job. Up on your feet, stand tall. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about standing in the midst of fear. We all know what it's like to feel unsafe. But God sets his angels charged over you. When we lean into God, he gives us the strength, and then he commands us to stand up. I'm starting this journey, and I hope you'll be in it with me. The word from God today is stand. No matter where you are, no matter what situation you're in, you tell the fear and you tell the devil, God's got this. Those of you that are like me that go around saying, hey, I got this. I got it. I'm good. I'm strong. No, the answer is God's got this. I gave you another example at the end of the last video about the scripture where Jesus says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I honestly haven't looked up that scripture, but I will in the next video. I always thought that was just crazy. Look around me, God. Nothing's easy. Nothing's light. It's all hard and way more hard than it seems to need to be. So he showed me the little girl carrying a big heavy burden, carrying it over to Daddy. Look what I got you. And he goes and he picks her up and he holds her in his arms. And all of a sudden that burden is gone. God didn't say we wouldn't have burdens. He specifically said that tribulation works patience, and patience endurance, and endurance hope. We can't have hope for the future that's promised in Jeremiah 29:11 if we don't have tribulation. That's an equation in the Bible that I've never forgotten. So now I'm here to finally turn my life around, stop some bad habits, get myself moving, strengthened, and share with you the journey. Because for the first time in my life, I really feel safe. Because it's not about me. It's not about the strength in my body. It's about the power of God, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the one that breathed and everything appeared. So I pray today that you just will embrace this word from God, that no matter how bad the circumstances are, God says, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't see the big picture. And I'm going to tell you, but first you've got to stand up. You got to stop wallowing in your self-pity. The pity party has a place, but when you stay too long, it becomes home. And we don't want to live in a pit. So before God tells him exactly who God is, he tells him to stand up. So let's start with our morning time with God. And let's do this thing. Jesus said, you will do far more above anything you could ask or think. Let's give this to God. Let him show us the way. If you like what you heard, if you want to join, and you know anybody who could be blessed by this, please click a like down at the bottom, subscribe, hit that bell down there, and turn on notifications so you'll know immediately each and every time I post a new video. And let's start a movement. It's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to submit to the fear, because you have a God. And if any of you don't know, and this is all foreign to you and you want to talk to me, then please leave a message. Thank you. I'll see you on the next video.